Hello, Toon Army. Fantastic day to talk about our beloved Newcastle United, isn't it? The sun is shining bright on Tyneside as we inch closer to what could be one of the most memorable seasons in our recent history. What do you think about Real Madrid showing interest in our defensive target, Marc Guehi? Would he be worth fighting for against the Spanish giants? And how would you feel about being cautious with Sven Botman's return from injury, even if it means missing him for our crucial Champions League qualification battle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Just when we thought our summer transfer plans were coming together nicely, it appears the European heavyweights have other ideas. In what could be a significant blow to Newcastle United's transfer strategy, Real Madrid have reportedly entered the race to sign Crystal Palace and England defender Marc Guehi, a player who has been high on our recruitment list for some time. The 24-year-old centre-back has been a revelation at Selhurst Park, establishing himself not only as a cornerstone of Palace's defence, but also cementing his place in the England setup. His composure on the ball, aerial dominance, and leadership qualities have made him one of the most sought-after defenders in the Premier League, and it's no surprise that our recruitment team has identified him as a potential perfect partner for our existing defensive talents. But now, according to The Sun, Madrid are showing serious interest in the talented defender. This isn't just casual admiration either. The Spanish giants have been increasingly strategic in their transfer approach, focusing on securing top talent on free transfers. We've seen them do it with Antonio Rudiger and more recently with Kylian Mbappe. There are also strong rumors they're planning to snap up Trent Alexander-Arnold when his Liverpool contract expires this summer. Their plan for Guehi appears to follow a similar pattern, with the defender's contract at Palace set to expire in 2026. Madrid and potentially Barcelona too are eyeing a move for him as a free agent should he run down his contract at Palace. It's a waiting game that could prove devastating for our own transfer ambitions. What makes Guehi particularly appealing to the Spanish clubs is an interesting technicality in La Liga regulations. Spanish clubs are only permitted 3 non-EU players in their matchday squads, but players with African nationality effectively count as Spanish players due to the Cotonou Agreement. Guehi's Ivorian passport, therefore, adds an extra layer of appeal to his already impressive footballing credentials. The potential partnership of Guehi with another Newcastle target, Dean Huijsen, who has already been snapped up by Madrid, would be a bitter pill to swallow for us. Imagine watching two defensive targets form a formidable partnership at the Bernabeu when they could have been marshalling the backline at St. James's Park. However, not all hope is lost for the Toon Army. Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish recently made some interesting comments that could work in our favor. Parish confirmed that Palace are a trading club and will sell players this summer. This acknowledgement opens the door for Newcastle to swoop in with a compelling offer before Madrid can execute their free transfer strategy. We've seen how decisive our ownership and recruitment team can be when they identify a target. The signings of Bruno Guimaraes, Alexander Isak, and Sandro Tonali are prime examples of how we can compete with Europe's elite when we really want a player. If Guehi is genuinely seen as a cornerstone for our future defensive setup, then perhaps we should be pushing hard to secure his signature this summer, rather than engaging in a waiting game we might ultimately lose. The question for Eddie Howe and our recruitment team is whether to push for an immediate move for Guehi, which would likely command a hefty fee given his contract situation, or pursue alternative targets. Chelsea are also reportedly in the mix, adding another layer of competition for his signature. For Guehi himself, the choices are tantalizing. Stay at Palace, join an ambitious Newcastle project, return to his former club Chelsea, or hold out. For the glamour of Madrid, it's certainly a situation that highlights Newcastle's newfound status. We're now competing with Real Madrid for transfer targets, something that would have seemed unimaginable just a few years ago. As Newcastle fans, we've become accustomed to seeing our club linked with top talent since the takeover, but the Guehi situation perfectly illustrates the challenges we face in the transfer market. Even with our resources and ambition, the historical pull of clubs like Real Madrid remains a significant obstacle. What's clear is that our defensive reinforcements will be a key focus this summer. With Fabian Schär not getting any younger and injury concerns around some of our other defensive options, securing a top-quality centre-back like Guehi would be a statement of intent for next season, especially with Champions League football potentially on the horizon. The weeks ahead will reveal whether Newcastle decide to accelerate their pursuit of Guehi in response to Madrid's interest, or whether we'll see our recruitment team pivot to alternative targets. One thing's for certain. This summer promises to be another fascinating transfer window for the best team in the world. As Newcastle United gear up for a potentially season-defining clash against Arsenal this Sunday, Eddie Howe faces a significant selection dilemma concerning one of our most important defenders. Sven Botman, our towering Dutch centre-back, is once again a doubt due to ongoing knee issues, leaving the manager with a crucial decision to make as we push for Champions League qualification. The situation with Botman has been nothing short of frustrating for everyone involved: the player, the coaching staff, and us fans. Since joining the club, he's established himself as one of the Premier League's most accomplished defenders when fit, but that last part has become an increasingly rare occurrence. The statistics paint a concerning picture. Botman has missed a staggering 59 games due to various knee injuries since joining Newcastle, with 28 of those coming from a single knee issue last season. This season hasn't been much kinder, with 2 separate knee problems already causing him to miss 13 matches. It's a pattern that's becoming all too familiar. Botman returns to the team, shows his undoubted quality, and then breaks down again. For a player of his immense talent, it's been heartbreaking to watch, and it leaves us wondering what might have been had we had a fully fit Botman throughout the campaign. The current league standings show just how crucial every point could be in the final push for Champions League places. We're sitting third with 66 points, just 2 behind Arsenal but only 1 ahead of Chelsea and Aston Villa, with Manchester City lurking dangerously close on 65 points. With just 2 games remaining, the margin for error is virtually non-existent. This Sunday's trip to the Emirates could effectively be a shootout for second place, but more importantly, it's a chance to secure our Champions League qualification. The good news is that we've had Arsenal's number this season, beating them 3 times already. But as Eddie Howe has been quick to point out, they're second in the Premier League for a reason, and facing them on their home turf will be an entirely different proposition. So should Botman be risked for such a crucial fixture? The overwhelming sentiment among Newcastle fans seems to be one of caution. As one fan put it, we've gone almost the full season without him anyway. There's a growing feeling that rushing him back could do more harm than good, especially with the summer break so tantalizingly close. The medical staff and management team face a delicate balancing act. On one hand, having a player of Botman's caliber available for such a pivotal match could be the difference between success and failure. On the other, another setback could potentially impact his availability for the start of next season, when we'll hopefully be preparing for Champions League football. Botman's injury record since joining Newcastle tells its own story. What started with a relatively minor ankle injury that cost him just 2 games has spiraled into a concerning pattern of knee problems. The fact that he's broken down after every attempted comeback so far is a red flag that cannot be ignored, regardless of how important Sunday's match might be. The sensible approach seems to be allowing him to rest and recover, with a view to giving him a full pre-season to get back to peak condition. While it's impossible to predict the future, this could be a crucial step towards Botman enjoying a season without so many disruptions next time around. Of course, Botman's absence creates opportunities for others to step up. Dan Burn has been a revelation at the back, while Fabian Schär continues to be a model of consistency. Emil Kraft has also shown he can deputize effectively when called upon. The fact that we've managed to establish ourselves in the top 4, despite missing our best defender for large portions of the season, speaks volumes about the squad depth and character Eddie Howe has cultivated. It's also worth considering the psychological impact on the player himself. Constantly returning from injury only to break down again must be taking a toll on Botman mentally. Sometimes the bravest decision is to take a step back even when every competitive instinct is telling you to push through. A fully rejuvenated Botman next season would be far more valuable than a half-fit version rushed back for 1 or 2 games, regardless of their importance. The irony isn't lost on us that as we push for Champions League qualification, one of the players who would most enhance our chances in that competition might not be able to help us get there. But that's football. It's about the squad, not individuals. And this Newcastle team has shown time and again that they can overcome obstacles together. As we look ahead to Sunday's showdown at the Emirates, there's an understandable nervousness mixed with excitement. The prize at stake, Champions League football, is something many of us have dreamed about but few of us have experienced during the lean years. Whether Botman features or not, we know this team will give everything to get us over the line. And perhaps that's the most important thing to remember in the Botman situation. We're building something special at Newcastle United. Something sustainable that's about more than just one game or one season. If that means making tough decisions about player welfare, then so be it. The best team in the world knows that sometimes you have to think long-term, even when short-term glory is so tantalizingly close. Well, that's all from St. James Park for today, lads and lasses. Keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. The Champions League dream is within touching distance, and whatever happens in these final 2 games, what a season it's been. Away the lads.